Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? All right, we're a little more awake at this point in the morning. We know it's one of those days where we've had maybe a little less sleep than usual because of the time change, and I don't know about how your house is functioning this morning, but I will tell you, toddlers do not understand time changes. So
No.
we're struggling a little bit today, but we're so glad to be with you this morning. My name's Ellen, and this is my friend Brittany. And Brittany, this is her first time hosting on stage, so we just wanted to welcome her, and we wanted you all to get to have a chance to know her a little bit better as well. So Brittany, just share a little bit about why your family loves being part of this movement family.
Sure. Hi, I'm excited to be with you this morning. So my family has been attending movement since late 2021, and my husband Daniel and I have 2 kids. We have Izzy, who's 7, and Milo, who's 5, and I'm a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool teacher. So we stay very busy in our house. Lots of activities, lots of painting and drawing and building and all of the things. So I love our Sundays when I can just kind of reset for the week and get that intentionality for the week ahead of me. So there's a couple reasons why we really love being a part of movement, and one of those is that it seems that other churches tend to keep all of their events around the community within their own walls. So they're doing things for their own people in the church, but it seems like movement really wants to be out in the community and try to draw others in and make them feel welcome. So I feel like that's a really important piece of a church, to have them always making sure that others feel welcome and drawn in. And then the other piece for us is just the group of people that's here. So I truly feel that movement is some of the kindest, most selfless people like within these walls, and that's really important to have around you in life in general, but especially at church. And when we initially started coming to this church, I was hoping that it was bigger so that I could kind of disappear and hide and not have to be front and center, which coincidentally we always sit front and center now each service, so that's funny. But we tried to dodge the bullet when it came to a move group for a long time, and eventually we decided to give in and take that step, and it has really been one of the biggest blessings in our lives, from just having a group of people to rally around you and support you and cover your family in prayer and do life with you. It's really one of the best gifts I feel like you can give yourself.
I love that. And from someone who is trying to hide to someone who's now like greeting people from stage. Look at how beautiful that is. And I think about, for all of you, like, we want all of you to be able to build those kinds of relationships that you're talking about. And whether you're brand new here or you've been here for a while. So there's a card in the seat back in front of you. It says Your Move at the top. And that's for all of you here today, no matter how long you've been part of movement. And that just helps us know what your next step is and how we can walk with you in that. Maybe it is jumping into a move group for the first time. Maybe it's getting baptized. Maybe it's helping your kids to connect in some way. Whatever that looks like, fill one of those out today. And there's also a spot for prayer requests on there. So if there's a way we can be praying over you in the week ahead, write that down. There's a drop box in the back of the auditorium, one out in the lobby as well. And if you fill one of those out and drop it in a box, we will get back with you in the coming week.
Yeah, so we also want to keep you in the loop about what's coming up here at Movement too. So on Sunday, April 19th, we will be doing child dedication. So that is a chance for parents to make a commitment to God before the church to help their children find and follow God. As a family, this is a decision that we made in 2022, and at the time, we knew it was something we wanted to do, but I don't think we grasped the concept of how important that was going to be for us. And, at the time, things were hard and challenging with having little kids, but as the years have gone on, things have only gotten more hard and more difficult with different challenges. So having made that covenant as parents with God to really make sure that He is the sole focus and we point everything back to Him when it comes to parenting has been so good to have in our lives as that foundation. So if you are interested in child dedication, you can sign up using the QR code, and there is going to be a parent gathering for that will be required for you to attend if that's something you're going to do, and that will be March 14th. So that's coming up pretty quick, and today is actually the last day to sign up for that, so please do that today before you leave.
And something else coming up is Easter. Easter is quickly approaching, and you probably noticed today when you came in that you have an invite card on your seat. This is for you to take with you. Don't leave it behind, and it's not meant to just be a reminder for you of when our Easter celebrations are. It's meant to be an invitation. So we just hope that you will be in prayer over who you might be inviting. We'll be celebrating here at 9 and 10:45, our usual celebration times. That's on Sunday, April 5th, so coming up soon. So just be in prayer over who you might invite to join you on that Sunday to hear the good news of the resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah, and another reason that you might want to invite somebody to be here and celebrate with us on Easter is that we are going to be doing baptisms that morning. So if you're here and you follow Jesus, but you have never been baptized yet, that would be a step that you might want to take. So if you're ready to sign up for that, you can just go to the QR code and select baptism. Somebody will follow up with you and help you with any questions that you might have.
And finally, we just want to remind you that our mission here at Movement is to help people find and follow God, and that mission is able to continue because of your generosity. And so we invite you to consider taking a step of generosity this morning if you want to see that mission continue, if you want to see us continue to reach people beyond these four walls, people that no one else is reaching with the good news of Jesus. You can use the envelope in front of you. You can use the QR code to give online, but also just want to share one way that we're using this building to reach others, to build community, to foster relationships, and that's our Little Movers meetups, and those are happening one Friday a month coming up, and it's for kids ages 0 to 5, and it's really just a time for caregivers and parents, grandparents to gather to build community, but also for the kids to have some time to play together. And the soonest one is coming up on Friday, March 20th. So we invite you, if you have kids that age or grandkids that age, to come be part of that. But more than that, we would love for you to invite someone to come with you. Invite someone who's maybe outside of our Movement family to connect in that way. So make sure to write those dates. The other dates are also behind me on the screen. So mark those down if you want to be part of that.
Yeah, and again, this is Ellen and I'm Brittany. We'll be out in the lobby after service, and I encourage you to come up. If you have any questions, we can help you. I would love to get to know you a little bit better. I'm great with faces, but terrible with names, so I just want to point that out there. I'll probably forget it, but I would still love to talk to you, and we would love if you would join us as the band leads us in songs.
She did great. Go ahead and stand and join us, and let's take a little time to thank God for exactly who He is. We worship the God who was. We worship the God who is. We worship the God who will. and we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place, and we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today, and we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place, and we won't be quiet. We'll shout out your praise. We'll shout out your praise. You guys are wonderful to worship with. I could sing. I could sing your name for all my life and still find more to love each time. Jesus be the name ever on my lips. It's sweeter every time that I call on it. There's just something about your name There's healing in your name. It makes me cry holy. There's freedom in your name. There's freedom in your name. There's freedom in your name. It makes me cry holy. There's salvation in your name. There's salvation in your name. There's salvation in your name. It makes me cry holy. Sing Jesus be the name. Sing Jesus be the name. Oh, Jesus be the name. He gets all the glory. Amen. Go ahead and find some people to say hello to, catch up a little bit, and we'll keep celebrating.
What's up? Good morning. Yeah, let's give the band a round of applause. Awesome job. Hey, my name is Nathan, and if you're first time here, welcome to Movement. Let's give all our friends a round of applause. Awesome to have you. We're in the middle of a series called Go, and we're going to talk about what that means in a second. But hey, every year there's 2 Sundays that tell me a lot about a church. It's Time Change Sunday, and not very many people at first service, so that tells me a lot about you guys. Awesome to have you. Great. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying you're different. But hey, there's something called a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift. Anybody know what that means? Awesome. I got a definition for you. An important change that happens when the usual way of thinking about or doing something is replaced by a new and different way. Husbands, it's when your wife gives you the actual right way. That's what it means. No, a paradigm shift is when you thought something, it's basically this, when you thought something could be true for a long time, maybe you swore you were right, and then you get new information, time changes, and then you realize that you were wrong, and all of a sudden you have a paradigm shift. So for example, last week on this stage, I stood up here very boldly and said that the Purdue Boilermakers would beat Ohio State in basketball. Went home, turned the game on, really quickly realized same old for Purdue, right? And so we lost. Paradigm shift, right? Also, the P I wear is not for Perrysburg. Come on, get real, guys. It's for Purdue, all right? We got to get that out of the way. Paradigm shift is when Whitney first met me in college. She thought she could resist me. The charm, the talent, I don't know, the looks, whatever. You're welcome, babe. You were wrong, right? Paradigm shift. How about this? Have you ever been in a conversation, let's say a heated conversation, maybe an argument, and you were on one side and you realized during that argument that you're actually on the wrong side? You have 2 options. I choose option A, which I just stick on that side no matter what. Or you realize, oh, the other person was actually right. Paradigm shift. Or this is my favorite. Have you ever met somebody, and at first they're like, you're either like, 1, you're really awesome, like they're awesome, or 2, it's like, Whitney, never introduce me to that person again, right? And you don't like him or you like him, and you realize down the road, like, hey, they're actually really cool, or actually, hey, they're a big jerk, right? Paradigm shifts, and they happen. And why I talk about that is when you're following Jesus, if you listen to how he taught about people saying, hey, listen, the tradition has said this to be true, or you thought it was this, or God said it this way. You guys have changed it, made it what you wanted, but here's actually what God meant. And he would try to change people's paradigms, get them to believe what actually truth was, or to live a certain way. Well, when it comes to Go, that's kind of what we've been talking about. We've been on this journey that we want to be a church that is about movement, not just our name, but we're a church that goes and we reach people. And a lot of churches, and a lot of people, they think they talk about Go, but they don't actually go. They just go to where they want to go to, or they go to their comfort zone. And we said, hey, we're shifting our paradigm on that, and we want to go to everybody we come in contact with, and we want to realize that Jesus has sent all all of us to go. And Jesus has continually done that. He moves people from this. Listen, come and see. So sometimes he's like, hey, come check this out. Come see what I'm about. And then it's follow me. That's how it goes. Follow me. And then once you get to the follow me part and you follow him, there's something else. And then it go from follow me to go. So it's come and see, follow me, then go. Come and see, follow me, then go. And so it's this kind of the shift happens. And Jesus talks about this, and he was making his disciples, like letting them know, like, hey, I want you to go. And so we have something called the Great Commission, where Jesus said, go and baptize people, go and reach people, go and make disciples, go to the ends of the earth. But he also said this in the Gospel of John. So you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the 4 Gospels. In the Gospel of John, the disciples are in this upper room. They're hiding out because Jesus has been crucified, arrested, and killed, right? And they're like, hey, we don't want to be arrested. We don't want to be killed. And they thought Jesus was gone and it was over. Well, Jesus resurrects and he walks out of that tomb. We're going to celebrate that in a couple of weeks. And he meets them in the upper room and he has a conversation. And this is part of it, just one line. 2 lines. Again, Jesus said, peace be with you. And maybe that's all you need to hear today. Maybe you come in here today and everything in your life is but peace. Jesus goes, listen, I can offer you peace beyond all understanding. He goes, peace be with you. And then there's a shifting happens. I love this. Maybe a paradigm shift, but something is happening. Roles are shifting. He goes, as the Father has sent me, so the Father sent me on mission, and I've completed my mission here. I'm going to return one day, complete it fully, but I'm going to leave. So I have been sent, and then I'm going to leave. Now I am sending you. Everybody say you. You. And that you means you. Huh, awesome, right? It means you, right? It's like now the disciples like, I'm sending you. And so there's a shifting happening. He goes, I was sent, now you're going to be sent. And so we're taking these words seriously. One thing we want to be known for is taking the words of Jesus seriously. And so he says, you're sent, and that means that we are sent. And all of a sudden, we come to this realization that following Jesus was never just about come and take, come and take, come and take, but it was also about go and make. And that we are going to go sent. That everywhere we go, in every season of our life, we want to walk on mission and realize that we have been sent. And with that, that means there's a realization. And this is one of the main things I want you to take away today. If you remember nothing else, I want you to remember this, that God has you where you are for a reason. God has you where you are for a reason. I believe that. Every season he has you in is for a reason. And so he has you in that job that you're in. Maybe you don't like it, maybe you do like it, but he has you there for a reason. He has you in that classroom for a reason, on that sports team for a reason. He has you, if you're a manager or boss, the people working underneath you for a reason. He has you, parents. He has given you your kids for a reason, right? He made me a girl dad for a reason. I believe that. I don't know what it is yet, but it's making me a better man, right? But it's for a reason. That every room we walk into is a reason. And there's a quote I found this week, and I love it. It says, you go nowhere by accident. Some of you are like, yeah, I don't go anywhere by accident because my wife tells me where to go, right? Like, but like, you go nowhere by accident. Wherever you go, think about this. What if you shifted your mindset to this? Wherever you go, God is sending you. Wherever you are, God has put you there. So it's that old saying, like, be where your feet are. He has a purpose in you being there. You're where you are on purpose. Christ, who is in you, has something he wants to do through you where you are. Wherever you are, God wants to do something there for you. And whatever season you find yourself in, whatever places you find yourself in this part of life, in this season of life, go there like God has sent you. And that word that always stands out to me is that word you. Because I don't know if you look at your life like I look at my life. I'm like, God, you could have chosen way better people to do what I do. You could use better person to be an example or a disciple, God. You could use anybody. He's like, yeah, but I chose you. And the rooms and the opportunities and the people and the family that he has you in, has you there for a reason. You. And you got to believe that word you. You are there. And sometimes it can be scary. Sometimes you are the only example people get. Maybe, you're the only parent your kids get. Be a good one or a really bad one, I guess. I don't know, right? Either a great example or a bad example. But he's chosen you. And Jesus could have said, hey, disciples, here's what you're going to do. You're going to stay in this upper room. You're going to hang out here. I'm going to go get some really good people who are more talented, Peter, better looking than you, right? Like more educated, who have better jobs, who know more than you, and I'm going to send them out instead of you guys. I've been with you for 3 years. Like, you guys aren't that good. No, he goes, I'm sending you and your flaws, you and your brokenness, but you and your skills, you and your influence, and that God says the same thing about you. And I think that's the message most people can get behind. Like, church is like, yeah, that's awesome, right? But why is it that if you look at studies and we look at our life, that we don't walk into rooms and opportunities sent? Matter of fact, I saw some research this week. I think the number was 78%. 78%, I believe the number was. 78% of followers of Jesus in America that were surveyed, I don't know how many were surveyed, said that they don't believe it's their responsibility to go and share their faith with other people. So you must not read Matthew, Luke, or John, right? Just saying, right? Like 78% of people that we don't want to. And I think, I'm going to give us a benefit of doubt. I think we want to. I think a lot of people want to, but there's a word that holds us back. And as soon as the word goes on the screen, in a second, don't put it there, Trevor. In a second, it'll be there. All the men are going to puff out their chests and say, not me, right? But it's all of us, right? It looks differently in our lives, but it's the word that holds so many of us back, and it's this word right here, fear. Everybody say fear. Fear, right? Fear. Everybody fears something. Everybody has some type of fear. I was doing research like, what do people fear? Some of the funny ones were people fear bald people. Any bald people in here? Yeah, there's people in the room who are scared of you just for being bald, man. I'm sorry, right? There's people who are afraid of cotton balls, little cotton swabs. Anybody in here? We're not making fun of you. There's heights and there's like the open water, right? I don't know if it's a fear, but I don't like giant farm animals, not because I'm scared of them. I don't trust them. Like, trust me, don't trust cows or horses. I'm just saying, okay? Like, they can kick you, they can bite you anyways, right? There's fear. And fear paralyzes us. It holds us back. It dictates our decisions. It decides what we will do, what we won't do. Will I move? Won't I move? Will I take an opportunity? And a lot of times, we make fear way up here. We give fear a throne of our lives instead of God. And if we're honest, we live like this. Like, we know God's bigger than fear, but fear wins. But what we're told in the Bible, we have some hope. It says this in 2 Timothy, it goes, for the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, doesn't make us fearful, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. He's like, hey, you don't have to live in fear. And so when it comes to faith, like, I think there's a fear like, hey, if I go tell people, if I share faith, if I live it out, if I live that way, people are going to think I'm weird, right? And I've hung out with a lot of you. They may already think that, guys. I don't know, right? But like, hey, I don't know what to say. Like, I might not have the words. Like, I might not speak eloquently. I might not, I might say the wrong things. Or what if they don't want to be my friend anymore? What if they don't invite me anymore? Like, all these things. But we're reminded, hey, God doesn't give us the fear, the power of fear. He gives us the power of love and self-discipline working in us. There's a story about this guy right here. Does anybody know who this is? Some smart people in here. Ulysses S. Grant, the former president, Civil War general, hero, right? He was a man's man. But before he was the famous person we knew, one of his jobs in the army or the military was going from one fort to another. And he'd have to travel on horseback to these forts. And one night in Texas, he's doing this. And it's pitch dark out, pitch black, and there's some people with him. There's no cell phones, there's no GPS, there's no light, no electricity, just wide open wilderness. And he's riding on these horses, and all of a sudden he hears this howling. And he described it as bone-chilling howling, like a wolf, like, ow, ow, you know what I'm talking about? Like that, like if we all did it like that, right? And so these wolves. And he's freaking out. And he thinks at any moment, these wolves are going to come out, attack them, and this is going to be the end of his life. And so one of the people riding with him goes, hey, Grant, how many wolves do you think are out there? And he doesn't want to oversell the situation, and he doesn't want to undersell the situation. He goes, I don't know, man. Maybe 20 or so. And they keep riding, and they keep hearing this howling, right? I'm not going to howl again, but they keep hearing it. And it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and eventually they ride up on this howling. And guess how many wolves there were? Not 50, not 20. There was two wolves that had the future general of the army scared to death. And he writes a quote, and it goes something like this. Things are almost always louder and scarier before you actually face them. Isn't that true? Except when you face a 40-year-old. That's the only opposite, right? Things are almost always louder and scarier until you actually face them. And that's true in so many areas of our life. But I think it comes down to, for us, when it's sharing our faith and going and being sent, it's always scarier before you actually do it. And you realize that, you know what? People are going to say no. People might think you're weird. They may not want to hang out with you anymore. And I'll say, I don't want those people anyways in my life, right? But it's almost scarier. It's always scarier in our mind. All the situations are always worse in our mind until we actually face them. So let me give you encouragement as we go any further. Listen, first thing I want you to hear is you're more called than you know. God has a calling on your life, a purpose on your life. And as I said, that he has placed you in certain areas for a reason. He wants you to make an impact for him in those areas. Way more than you realize. And I always say this, God wants to do way more through you than you probably could ever imagine. The second is you are more needed than you think. If we're going to be the church that God has called us to be, it takes everybody, I'm going to say everybody to be part of the mission. And that mission is going, that mission is serving, that mission is generosity and giving. It's part of it. We all have to be part of it, and you're more needed. Because there's people in your life that God has in your life that only you can reach. And God is sending you to reach them. And also, finally, you are more ready than you feel. You have everything you need. You got the Spirit of God working in you. You got the mission of going. You are more ready than you feel. So I want to take you to a group of people who all these things were true about. It's in the book of Acts. We've kind of talked about the book of Acts. It's right after the Gospel of John. It's really the history of the early church and Christianity spreading and Jesus followers growing from a small group to a much larger group. In the book of Acts, we get to chapter 7. And we're going to be on chapter 8 today, but you got to know what chapter 7 is. But before we get there, I want you to think that these are a group of people who are probably fearful. I know they got to be fearful. Who are unsure about the future, but they know that they're more called than they realize, and they know that Jesus has them where they are for a reason. So in Acts chapter 7, we meet a man named Stephen. And Stephen gets up and he starts preaching. He's kind of an early church leader, starts preaching. Eventually, he is killed. He is stoned with stones being thrown at him for preaching, right? And he dies. And really, this is a pivotal moment in the church history because this is the persecution. This is where like the peak of is starting to get really, really bad, and things are going to change. And it goes from kind of somewhat hostile to really hostile. Now, Stephen's dead just for preaching about Jesus because what he preached was, listen, everything points to Jesus. The Old Testament, all of it points to Jesus, and he's killed. And we pick up in book of Acts chapter 8, verses 1 through 4. It says this, and Saul approved of their killing him. On that day, a great persecution broke out against the church in Jerusalem, and all except the apostles were scattered throughout Judea and Samaria. Let's pause right there. Remember, Jesus said, go to the ends of the earth, to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and then the ends of the earth. And so now they've been in Jerusalem, but now the followers of Jesus are going to be scattered to those next areas. Godly men buried Stephen and mourned deeply for him, because he was killed for just sharing his faith. But Saul began to destroy the church. Going from house to house, he dragged off both men and women and put them in prison. Maybe they died there, maybe they didn't. And then this line right here. Those who had been scattered, so those who have been sent out and went, what do? Preached the word wherever they went. Man, that's what I pray is true about us, that wherever we go, they said that church called Movement, they preached with their words, with their deeds, and their actions wherever they went. But a lot's happening in these verses. First, we're introduced to a man named Saul. Many of you know him as named Paul. And Paul is a church leader eventually who writes a lot of the letters in the New Testament, right? And before that, we know him as Saul. And he was a Jewish man who had the heritage. He knew the stuff. And he did not believe in the message of Jesus, so much so that he gathered up Christians that were essentially back then called not a church, but followers of the way. And he arrested them and got them killed. And it says he approved of their killing of him because he thought, if I could just kill them, if I could just persecute them, then it's going to stop. But what happened was the opposite. The persecution broke out, and then they scattered. They multiplied. They went elsewhere. They went to the ends of the earth. It says in verse 4, it goes, wherever they were scattered, they preached. Wherever they went, to the streets, to the homes, to the jails, to wherever they went. Guess what they did? They preached and they shared the gospel. Because, think about this, their life had been so transformed by what they heard, what they saw, what was being preached. So transformed, they're like, we have to let other people know. Even, and we can't, it's hard to imagine in the United States, even if it gets me killed, even if it gets me arrested, I can't hold this news in. I have to tell people. And so everywhere they went with this passion. And the author says it spread. And the apostles stayed in Jerusalem. So what that tells me is when it really started to spread to the other cities and the other places, it was through ordinary men and women who were uneducated, who were new Christians, who just had to get the message out. It was through ordinary people like you and through me. And wherever they went, they preached. Wherever they went, they preached. And when I think of that imagery, I think of a little kid. You guys have kids or no kids? You were a kid one time. And maybe they have this one thing that they have to bring everywhere they go. Maybe it's a blanket, a stuffed animal. If your kid's a little strange, maybe it's a rock. I don't know, right? Like, maybe it is, whatever, a picture, a pacifier. They had it, but anybody have something like that growing up? Anybody? Okay. Maybe you still have it. There was something that I had to bring everywhere with me growing up. I don't have the original thing anymore, so I found this picture on eBay right here. And it was this blanket. Any Mighty Morphin Power Ranger lovers out there? Right? Okay, right. I think I've talked about the Power Rangers more here than I have my entire life, but I love them. I love them. And so I had this blanket. Two things I really wanted out of life growing up. I wanted to be a Power Ranger, okay? Really wanted to be a Power Ranger. And the real thing I wanted to do was I wanted to date this one right here. My first crush was the Pink Ranger, right? Fell in love at 6 years old, Pink Ranger. But I believed that that blanket was going to give me superpowers if I covered up with it every night. And so I brought that bad boy everywhere I went. To my grandma's, to my friends when I stayed at their house, drug it all throughout the house, brought it on car trips. I brought it everywhere I went because it was special to me. Like, I wanted people to know that I had the coolest blanket in all the, in the whole world. They don't make things like this anymore, guys. Like, this was awesome. This was as good as it got, okay? If they still made big sizes, that would be our bedroom comforter, okay? That's what we would have. But I wanted people to know. And I want us to have that same passion with Jesus, that we bring it everywhere we go, our faith everywhere we go. We let people know. Because we're like, hey, listen, we're not going to be overly preachy. We're not going to be hitting you over the head with the Bible, but we got the truth. And we know how your life can be changed because he changed my life. And I have to tell you, and I'm going to tell you, not just with my words, I'm going to show you that Jesus changes lives by the way I love, by the way I talk, by the way I give, by the way I serve, by the way I live my life. And these early Christians who weren't educated, who were not the cream of the crop that you would recruit to do anything crazy with, this is what happened. The gospel was part of them. The message of Jesus was part of them. It went where they went, and it moved with them. It didn't stay in a church. It didn't stay in a small group. It moved wherever they went. And that means when you and I, when we walk out these doors, our faith doesn't stay here. It goes with us. It goes with us. And you talk about what you care about. You ever think about this? How do you know somebody's a fan of something? They talk about it, right? I said first service that, a lot of people talk about it. If you're like Dave Cowley, you wear your teams every week to church, right? Like at Duke or Ohio State, you wear it, right? If you like to make sourdough, you make sourdough all the time. You post about it, you talk about it. I don't know what else you do with it. You hug it, you sleep with it in your bed. I don't know, right? If you love your kids, you post about it, you talk about it, right? And you guys are passionate about a lot of things. I know. I said I would never do this growing up. I said I never wanted to live. Never mind. Anyways, I never wanted to live around certain fan bases, and here I am. And you guys are passionate about it, and I love it, right? I didn't want to say that, so it's confession time, right? But I love you guys, right? And you talk about it, and you're passionate about it. And I have this scenario that plays in my head. It's like, ever since I became a dad, I said one day Natalie and Riley are going to come to me, and they're going to ask, besides, who they should marry and Jesus, they're going to ask me a really important question. It's a really important question in my household and also in our friendship. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time? And you guys know where I stand on this? all right? I don't want to hear anything else. And besides, I'm going to first tell them, girls, you're looking at them. That's the first thing I'm going to say, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them anything. I'm going to take them to YouTube. I'm going to type in LeBron James, Akron, Ohio, and I'm going to show them all his highlights. And you're going to be like, he doesn't have as many buzzer beaters as Michael Jordan. He has more game-winning shots than Michael Jordan does, by the way, okay? Anyways, all right, I'm going to tell them about LeBron James, and they're going to walk away rolling their eyes, okay? But I'm going to let them know. And, listen, I picked my favorite player in 6th grade. I'm 35 now. I didn't know he'd be playing as long as the dinosaurs, okay? Listen, I didn't know that, right? But you talk about what you care about. You talk about what you care about. You share what you care about. You know somebody's a fan of something because they talk about it. If someone says they're a sports fan and they don't know any of the players, they never watch any of the games, they don't have any of the gear, you're not a fan, bro. Like, I don't know what you are. You're not a fan. And so if we have Jesus, if we believe about Jesus, and we're like, hey, I really believe he changes lives, and I believe he's changed my life, and I believe that we all spend somewhere in eternity either with Jesus or away from Jesus, but I never tell you how important is it to me, and how important are you really to me. He's like, you got to tell them. You got to go. You got to show them. And so Jesus is saying, take this message that you have seen with your own eyes. Take this message of a new life, of forgiveness, of grace and mercy, and go out into the world and talk about it and show people what it means to be a follower of mine. And the word go, we said, it means as you go, as you take a journey, as you depart. And all of us are going somewhere. We're going on journeys. Jesus is saying, take your belief in me with you. Don't neglect to go. And so what I want to do is I want to look at the places we go because we all have somewhere. And so I call them the sphere of influences. And there's a picture behind me. I had AI. I just typed in what I wanted, and they made this awesome image. So let's talk about these circles. All of us have it, and they all look a little different for all of us. And every single season that we're going to talk about may not be important to you right now, but maybe someday it is. So the first one is your inner circle. We're going to call it your home today. It's your inner circle. So it's your family and your closest relationships. It's probably 5 to 10 people max, right? If you got more kids, maybe a little bit more, but it's your closest circle. Then you kind of have another circle out here. It's kind of outlined in blue. It's your personal community. So your peers, your colleagues, your neighbors. For the sake of today, we're going to call it your job or your work. And then you have the outer circle. So the outer circle, and these are all people you encounter with. It's called your wider community. It's strangers, social media. I put those your schedule brings you into contact with. And we all have these 3 spheres. And all of us, it looks a little different for all of us, but all of us are sent into these 3 spheres of our life every single day. Every day you go there. And so we're going to start talking about the first one, and I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to talk about this one a lot longer than the rest because I believe this is the most important. All of them matter, but I think we start here. So the first place I want you to think about is your home. Now I know some of you live at home by yourself. Some of you may not have kids at home. Maybe you have a roommate. Maybe you don't have a spouse. Maybe you're married. But I want you to think about your home, and specifically for the next 5 to 6 minutes, I want to talk to parents of young kids, 18 and younger, or if they still live in your house. So we'll kind of classify it as that. And I know we don't do this a whole lot, but when I think about discipleship and I think about going, I think the place that we neglect to talk about the most is our home. And the most important place, parents, I want you to hear this, the most important place you will ever disciple is your home. The most important room you will ever walk into is the living room in your house with your kids and your spouse. It's the most important one, by far. The greatest investment you will ever make in this world as a parent is to spiritually invest in your kids. And so I want to give us all permission right now to live by this motto. And this is a motto I live by, and I have no reservations about it. I don't care if I lose other things because of this choice. This is how I live. My home gets my best. My home gets my best. It's God, it's my wife, it's my kids, and then everybody else gets the rest. And I need to make sure when I walk through the doors of my home that I'm not just a preacher on a stage preaching about love and grace and discipleship, that I need to be living that out. I need to be, as a dad, leading my kids, leading my spouse, leading my wife, Whitney. Like, they need to get my very best. And I need to make sure I'm going to them and discipling them before I disciple you guys. And I love you guys, but they need to be discipled first. And you know what's awesome is Whitney doesn't need discipled. See, we're a marriage, right? It's a triangle pointing up to God, and iron sharpening iron, right? We're going it together. That's why, besides following Jesus, the greatest choice you can make in your life is who you do life with, right? And marry. And so we're pointing to God, and we're leading our family, and we're discipling. And God has always cared about this. As the Israelites came out of Egypt and they were going into the wilderness and they're going to go in the promised land, God talks to them, says, hey, these are the things I want you to do. And this is what we find in Deuteronomy. He says, hear, O Israel. This is for everybody. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. And this is what we're all called to do. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. He's saying everybody should have a faith of their own. And then he goes, hey, parents, listen up. And he goes to this. Impress them. Impress what? The commands. Loving the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, all your soul. Impress them on your children. Show them what it means. Talk to them about it. Talk to them about that when they sit at your home, when they're driving in the car to the sporting event, after the sporting field, after the sporting event, when you walk along the road, when you're hanging out, when you're making blocks, when you're playing Legos, talk about it. When you lie down, when you put them down at bed at night, when you get up, when you get ready for school, you show them patience and love. You show them what it means to be a follower of Jesus. Tie them as symbols on your hands. Bind them on your foreheads. Like, let it be known who you follow by the way you live and by what you do. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates. He's saying, let your kids know about the God who loves them. Let the kids know about what Jesus has done for them. Let your family know who Jesus is and show them by the way you live, by the patience you have with them, by the way you say sorry to your spouse, by apologizing to them when you lost the cool, when you didn't really mean it, but you just lost it because they push your buttons, because that's what kids do, right? Teach them, show them, because values are always more caught than they are taught. And kids, here's what they do. They're awesome. They smell fake from a mile away. And if they see us as adults living one way on Sunday and another way the rest of the week, guess what they're going to do? They're going to live one way on Sunday and live the rest of the week, the rest of the days how you live. Our values are caught more than they're taught. And so God sends us into our home. And here's what I believe. If we don't disciple this inner circle, the people you hold dearest and closest to you, I have a hard time believing that we're going to go out here and disciple. And parents, I'm going to tell you, I grew up in a non-Christian home. It made things a lot harder for me. I had to go seek out people to see what it means to follow Jesus. But man, when we get this right and we invest in them and we're discipling at home, everywhere else gets easier to do because we're getting what matters most. We're getting what matters most right first. And I got to be reminded of this sometimes. You know, we have Fridays and Saturdays off. Whitney has Fridays off and Saturdays. So Saturday is kind of our chill day. I have ADD. I don't chill much, but I chill a little bit. There was a day I was sitting on a little island. We have a little island in the kitchen. And then the girls, if you don't know, I got 2 girls, and I got Whitney, and they're all crazy, Whitney included, right? And I'm sitting over here trying to get a little peace of mind. I got a sports podcast going, probably Cow Herd. I'm eating over here, and they're in the other room, making a mess of the room I cleaned up 8,000 times, right? You're like, okay. And I'm thinking about the sermon, because Saturday I'm usually thinking about the sermon. I'm thinking about other things I need to do that day. And then God said, hey, I have you exactly where I want you. Where's that? Stressed out? Why? Like lack of patience? Like, hey, I have you exactly where I want you. Before you get to that sermon that you think everybody, that's the most important thing, before you do anything else, this is exactly where I have you. God has you exactly where he wants you, parents. And it may be a hard season, but it's 18 years. And it goes like this, everybody says. Make it count. And as we're doing that, we have to stop and pause. And this is for everybody. Am I worth imitating? If my girls have the same faith that I have, would I be happy with that? If my girls marry somebody who's like me, would I be happy with that? Is my faith with Jesus worth imitating? Because there's realization for us. The way we live today doesn't just affect us. It sets the stage for everyone who follows. And all of us, regardless if we have kids at home or not, all of us should care about the faith of the next generation. and those who are following us. So we start at home. Boom. Then we get to the work. And some of you are like, man, I don't want to talk about work. I don't really like my job, right? Like, work is a place we spend far too much time at to do things we don't want to do necessarily, right? And so we got Karens that we work with. I think the male Karen is a Kevin. We got Kevins we work with. Sorry if there's a Kevin here, right? We got Karens and Kevins, but you're not working and you're not going there for them. You're going there for God. Colossians 3:23 says this, whatever you do, whatever your job is, work with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. You're not doing it for them, you're doing it for the Lord. And so what you realize is, like, I have an opportunity at this platform. God's given me my job where I go all the time to make a difference by having integrity. If you have integrity, man, you will stand out in a room, right? But by being kind. You don't have to be nice, just be kind. You just don't hate people, right? By not gossiping. It's just by realizing that your job is not just a paycheck, it's a platform that God has put you in. Use your job as an opportunity. The final one is our schedule. Our schedule takes us 1,000 places. I don't even want to pretend to know where all our schedules take us. Some of us have a lot, some of us have a little. We have a lot of things on our Google Calendar. What if we stop doing this? What if we stop asking, what do I need to get done? And start asking, God, who has God put in front of me today? Where is God sending me? And how can I make a difference? That's what it means to live sent. And that's what the early church got right. Being sent means living fully where you are, right where your feet are planted, loving well, and going where God has placed you. And it also means showing up every day, in the everyday moments, taking your faith into your home, your work, and your schedule, and letting God use you right where you are. Jesus said, as the Father has sent me, I am sending you to go to your homes, your work, and your schedule, and the ends of the earth to reach people who don't know me and get them to know me. And so what we're going to do today to end the talk a little bit differently, we're going to take communion. And we're going to reflect on Jesus, the greatest goer. He says, the Father sent me. And why did he send him? To die for you and I. To be the sacrifice for you and I. So that we can have life, that we can have forgiveness, that we can have redemption. But his story doesn't end on the cross. It doesn't end with an empty tomb. It ends with him returning one day. But right now, in the meantime, we remember what Jesus did, being sent to this world for each of us. So what we're going to do after I pray is you can come up here, you can take bread, you take a cup, and go back to your seat and pray and take all the time you need, and the worship team will continue to worship, and you'll take communion as you feel led. Let us pray. Father God, thank you so much for loving us. And I pray we never lose the awe of the God of the world loves us, sees us, and says we're worth the move. God, as we talk about go today, I pray that we go into our world sent, that we live on mission. But right now, I want to take the attention off us and put it on Jesus, the one you sent into the world for us. God, to die for our shame and our mistakes and our addictions so we can have redemption, so we can have grace, so we can have a new identity and spend eternity with you, Father. So we're going to take this communion in remembrance of Jesus, and his body being broken, his blood being poured out for us. God, and I pray as we sit there and reflect on that, we just spend all our attention on that and not our worries, not our fears, not what we're going to eat next, not what we're going to do next, but all on Jesus being sent for me. In your name we pray. Amen.
whenever you're ready, we would love for you to stand and join us for a couple of more songs. Sing, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails us. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You are close like